Morning, everyone. Are you ready to go? All right, thank you very much. I probably don't need to, but can I introduce to you Detective Superintendent Mick Niland, who is in charge of CIB activity for the Metro South region. Thank you for your time. Obviously, Detective Superintendent Niland will talk about the latest murder overnight in the Metro South region. And I thought I might talk very briefly about crime overall and firearms-related crime, and then open it up to questions, both in terms of the matter overnight, as much as we are able to answer, and any questions you have of me from a statewide perspective. So, Mick, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Look, at about 7:27 p.m. last night, Police Communications received a 000 call to attend Warrigal Road store. And could I just start again in relation to that? Yeah. Look, at 7:27 p.m. last night, police received a 000 call to attend the Warrigal Road shopping centre in relation to the possibility of a man being shot. Timings in relation to this crime are very important because at approximately 6:50 p.m, a BMW, a silver BMW coupe, was seen to enter that shopping centre. We believe that it may be linked to this crime. And it was seen to arrive at that time, and then it departed at approximately about 7:20 p.m. And we're appealing to potential witnesses. There were a lot of persons in that shopping centre that night. We have spoken to a number of witnesses that have come forward, but we're appealing to further witnesses that may have seen that vehicle in the shopping centre or suspicious activity around that vehicle between those times of 6:50 p.m. and 7:20 p.m. So if they do have information in relation to it, if they could contact Crime Stoppers, or in particular our major incident room, which we've set up at Mount Gravatt Police Station.
Mick, thanks very much. Can I just talk briefly, if that's okay, just about broader issues? Obviously, these two matters in consecutive days are of great concern to us. Murder is clearly the most serious crime on the statute books, and one that we give the highest possible priority to. Local detectives, wherever it occurs in the state, often assisted by the homicide squad, depending on the circumstances and how straightforward the investigation is. And homicides, of course, range from tragedies where two people in a domestic violence situation, where one kills the other and then sometimes calls the police and they attend and the person surrenders themselves, through to far more complex investigations that can go on for years and years. We're extremely concerned about this. At this point in time, there is no evidence to suggest that either of these matters, the matter at Warrigal Road or the previous matter at Roachdale, are linked in any way. We're not excluding that as a possibility, but there's no evidence to support that at this stage. In terms of firearms and crime, more broadly, in Queensland, throughout the state, around about 15% of armed robberies involve a firearm. That percentage increases in the Gold Coast area to closer to 20%, but that's about the most severe that it gets. So about 1 in 5 armed robberies involve a firearm. We include in that armed robberies where the firearm may be a replica, because if you're the victim and you are looking down the barrel of a firearm, you don't know whether it's a real firearm or a replica. We established the Firearms Investigative Team with 5 officers from State Crime Operations Command, which commenced operations, was announced in December last year and commenced operations in January. And so far they've done some really good work. They have taken off the streets 39 firearms, and included in that 16 in those 39 concealable firearms, and on top of those 39 firearms they have taken 14 other weapons such as crossbows and tasers off the street as well. They've arrested 59 people on a total of 104 charges. So we are very conscious of the importance and the significance for us and the community of crime involving firearms and, as I said, of course, murders are the most serious crime on the statute book. So, if you wish, perhaps direct questions to Detective Superintendent Niland about the matter last night, and then after that, if there are any broader questions from a statewide perspective, I'd be happy to try and answer those for you.
Detective Superintendent, what sort of gun do police believe was used last night? Do we know yet?
Look, it's early in the investigation, that's unknown.
The victim, was he known to police at all?
Look, he was known to police, but can I say this, that it's been earlier described as a random or a drive-by shooting. We're of the belief that, in fact, that isn't the case in this instance.
What makes police believe that?
We've spoken to a number of witnesses in the last 8 hours, and investigations are continuing.
So do police believe that the victim and the offender were known to each other?
It's the case that is possibly correct.
And can you tell us about this car?
Look, we believe that that vehicle, possibly driven by the offender or offenders in this matter, and our victim possibly met with that vehicle between 6:50 p.m. and 7:20 p.m. in the car park at the Warrigal Road Shopping Centre.
Do police believe that the victim has actually walked up to the car and been shot out of the car? That's what witnesses are sort of indicating out there?
It is very early stages, and we are establishing the facts of the matter at this time.
And is it a BMW?
It is. It's a silver BMW two-door coupe with a sunroof and alloy wheels, and it's the shape between 1998 and 2002. We believe that one is a 2001 BMW silver coupe. That's taken from CCTV footage.
Any chance it's stolen?
At this stage, we're still making inquiries.
Will police be releasing the name of the victim later today?
Possibly. It's a tragic set of circumstances, and we're speaking with the family today.
Does it appear as though a similar weapon was used from the previous crime in Rochdale?
Look, we don't believe that the two crimes are linked.
So do police believe the offender was in this silver BMW?
There is a likelihood.
When you say the victim was known to police, was he a member of a gang?
He is known to police.
But you can't confirm whether he was a member of a gang?
No, we don't believe he's a member of a gang.
Is it believed this is gang related?
We do not believe this is gang related at this stage. Of course, we keep an open mind in relation to criminal investigations.
Is anyone assisting police at all? Like, is anyone involved who knows these people who might be involved? Are they talking to police?
Look, we've had a number of witnesses come forward who are assisting police at this time.
The victim, was he there by himself or was he there with others?
Look, he attended the Warrigal Road Shopping Centre to have a bite to eat at a local restaurant there at approximately just before 6:40 p.m.
Is it likely though that he's gone to meet these people here, or is it?
It's one of a number of leads we're investigating.
Was he eating by himself?
No, he went there to meet with a couple of friends for dinner, and then this course of events has taken place.
Just with that timing, so it was sometime between 6:50 and was it 7:27 that you believe he went up to that car?
That's correct.
Is this video footage?
That's CCTV footage.
So it's a video, not stills? Is it?
That's from cameras at the Warrigal Road Shopping Centre.
I think it's the same thing.
Had the victim been in anything like this previously? Had he been, you said he was known to police, but had he been in trouble like this before? Had he had incidents with police?
Look, it all forms part of the investigation. I can say he was known to police.
Is the incident captured on camera?
Is the
Incident captured by CCTV?
We are still going through CCTV footage today.
How many times was the victim shot?
That post-mortem is being conducted today in relation to the victim, and we'll know more at a later time.
So was he shot in the head?
We will be able to release the results of the post-mortem at a later time.
Obviously, if you guys pulled this surveillance footage here, you would have had a look at the broad images that come up on the surveillance footage of the shopping centre. Is it likely that the shopping centre car park where it happened, is it likely it actually has caught it?
We're going to continue to make inquiries and investigations today, and we ask that any person that has any information in relation to the matter, if they could come forward.
Sorry, can I also get you to run through the timeline again? You said the car arrived at 6:50. You thought it left at 7:20, but you got the call at 7:27.
The 000 call came through. That's the first knowledge police had of the matter. The
so
000
around
call.
7:20 is when you think the shot was fired and the car left?
That's correct.
And was the man standing in the car park or just in front of the restaurant?
It's unknown at this time.
Certainly the car is firmed up as a vehicle of importance and interest to us, and we would be extremely grateful for your continued support. And I'm sure you're all very experienced. You understand that this is the very early stages of this investigation, and we're just limited in terms of what information we're able to and even have ourselves yet in terms of sharing. But clearly this vehicle is firmed up as a vehicle of interest, and we would ask that anyone who has any information about this vehicle, this silver BMW that Detective Superintendent Niland has described, to pass that on to Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. And even if you just suspect that you may have information, please pass that on as well. We won't think you're wasting our time. We won't think it's silly. Your bit of information, your suspicion, could be the key to helping us make a breakthrough in this case. And we're extremely grateful for the support of the public so far and of the media so far. And obviously we're putting an enormous amount of effort and resources into both of these investigations that have occurred in the last 2 days. But as Detective Superintendent Niland has said, at this point there is no evidence to indicate that the two matters are linked. We never exclude anything, but there's no evidence to indicate at that stage. Now, and we'll give you updates on this as soon as we're able to. Were there any other questions?
You must be concerned, though, that we've had a spate of serious crime this week. This is the third shooting, fourth if you consider the one the police had to shoot a man. Are there too many guns in South East Queensland, Commissioner?
Any illegal firearm is one too many. Any illegal firearm is one too many. The situation with firearms crime is something we monitor closely. Anecdotally, it does seem as though there's been an increase in recent times. However, it's certainly not out of control, and it's certainly manageable. Each year in Queensland, and this has been consistent now for many, many years, we have about 50 to 60 murders. In my view, our people do a fine job, and in fact some years they have a 100% clean-up rate and clear-up rate for homicide, which is one of the best clear-up rates anywhere in the world. So we take it terribly seriously. The rate of homicide, and people might find this difficult to believe, but it's true, the rate of homicide has actually come down in the last 15 to 20 years. So we're very mindful of this, but it's the most serious offence on the statute books. We treat it and regard it that way as well. And any crime involving firearms, particularly murders of the type we've seen in the last few days, are of great concern to us, obviously. And I am very concerned. And I hope that, obviously that we're not seeing an ongoing repeat progression of this sort of offence.
Just to clarify, you said the man, you can't confirm whether he was shot in the car park or he was shot in the car park, the one at the latest one?
Yeah, I didn't think Detective Superintendent Niland actually touched into that space. I think it's probably true to say that we believe he was shot in the car park. But beyond that, regrettably, we're not able to give you any more detail.
Are there any new leads on the Wednesday night incident?
That's being thoroughly and competently investigated, of course, and we have a large team of detectives involved in that investigation. There's been no breakthrough yet, and as we do with this matter, we appeal for anyone who has any information at all, and again, even if you only suspect that you might know something about that or have something that could help us, again, we appeal to people to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 and pass any information you have to us, and that information will be treated with absolute confidentiality.
Commissioner, it's been a terrible week for crime. We've had shootings, we've had high-speed chases, we've had young kids laughing at cameras as they've been arrested.
Do you think there's been a bit of a loss of innocence for people who live in South East Queensland and maybe viewed their state in a certain way?
I certainly hope not. What will happen with crime is that over any year, whether it's a calendar year or a financial statistical year, but over a given year, we won't have an evening, if that makes sense. So it won't be that every 4 days, that a particular crime happens. We'll have ebbs and flows, and what we're seeing at the moment is a peak. What's of concern to us, of course, is that peak doesn't continue, because that would be very concerning. But you'll see this in any year where there'll be, a peak of offences in a particular week, and then things will settle down, I guess, in the following week. But certainly none of us would want to see what's happened in the last week sustained as a regular occurrence.
Commissioner, you said that your special task force had taken about 50 illegal firearms off the streets. But does police have an estimate of how many illegal firearms there are in Queensland at the moment?
That's impossible to estimate. After the gun buyback scheme after Port Arthur, the level of firearms use in crime declined. Firearms use in murders declined by about 25%, and firearms use in armed robberies declined significantly as well. One illegal firearm on the streets is one too many, because it's a potential serious injury or death to someone. So we take them all seriously, but regrettably it's impossible to know how many illegal firearms are out there at any particular time.
How do they get in? Are they primarily stolen from research, or is there another channel that allows them to get into Queensland?
Yeah, no, there's a number of pathways. Stolen firearms is one. Illegally imported firearms is another. And in some cases, there would be some that people never surrendered, originally under the buyback scheme, and have stored in some way or another. But the main avenues would be through illegal importation and through theft. All right, well, look.
Do you know if the offender got out of the car to shoot the victim, or was he still in the car? I know it's in early stages.
We're still trying to establish those facts.
Right.
Do you know if there's only one person in this car, this silver BMW?
Once again, we're still trying to establish those facts.
Were you shocked by this shooting, the way that it happened in such a car park on a Thursday night while people are eating dinner and families and stuff walking around? Were you surprised at how brazen it was?
Yeah, of course. Look, it's a terrible tragedy.
His family, how are they coping?
Well, it's under very, very difficult circumstances.
I think on that point, though, really, as terrible as this is, I do think it's important for the confidence of the public to stress that we genuinely do not believe this is a drive-by, random type shooting. The indications are that this is deliberate and intentional and focused. So that's an important point. And that doesn't understate at all the point you probably just made about just how terrible and how serious this is, that in such a public place as well, that this could occur. All right. Well, look, thank you again for your support on this. And as soon as we have something further we can share with you, we will. Thanks very much for your time today.